moderator or the speech delivery person for today. Toastmaster for this panel is Toastmaster Yasin, our Vice President Education for our club. Over to you, Toastmaster Yasin. All the best. Looking forward.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Soundarya, and good morning, everyone. This is a panel discussion on the topic Life as Toastmasters, as Soundarya already mentioned. The word Toastmasters generally refers to getting over glossophobia, the fear of public speaking. But I believe that being a Toastmaster means more than just being a good speaker. I believe it's an overall transformation as a better self. We have in the panel to discuss the nuances of being a Toastmaster today, three eminent guests whom I have personally admired and look up to as inspirations. DTM Raghavan Sridhar is currently working in Ericsson as a senior manager in the R&D function. He is the finalist in district finals of the evaluation contest this year and first runner-up in the ISC contest. Next, we have Toastmaster Praveen Mani. He is currently the founder of WinBytes, a tech startup. He is also the former district director for the year 2020-2021, and the entire district has benefited immensely from his contribution. DTM Thomas Abraham is currently working as an independent communication consultant for brand development using his 3 decades of corporate experience with legends like Ashok Leyland. He is the former District 82 PR manager, also 2021 district finalist in International Speech Contest as well as Table Topic Contest. I welcome all 3 of you to the panel discussion. Thank you for joining us today. As I said in the beginning, Toastmaster is being more than just a good speaker. I'd like to begin with DTM Raghavan Sridhar. We'd like to hear from you as you credit all your progress on the personal and professional front to Toastmasters. Why?
Good morning, Yasin. Good morning, Wake Up Chennai Toastmasters Club. Why? Well, because here I am, sharing stage with such eminent people, being with you guys. See, in my journey, at least, Toastmasters has been really beneficial in many different ways. If I have to put some of it in random order, right? I got my first promotion because my speaking skills had been molded by Toastmasters. I found my wife from a Toastmasters meeting. I've been able to create and retain so many friends because of Toastmasters. In fact, I met Praveen as a member of Chennai Speakers Forum first, and then I was able to witness his journey as a leader and eventually serve under him when he was a district director. I got a job at Ericsson because one of my Toastmasters friend referred me to the interview, and I even had a chance to sit in the interview because of my friend. I remember very clearly how I met Thomas sir. There was a session that we do every year in SIET College for their new joiners and how we orient them. And I was supposed to do that session. I couldn't. And then Thomas sir stepped in. He was supposed to do it, but he couldn't. But I met Thomas and I was floored by how amazing his English was. And we interacted and practiced these sessions. I'm journeying through the mentor-mentee relationship with Karthikeyan from your club. So in many different ways, being able to get friends, being able to get skills, being able to create a better attitude, I have learned from Toastmasters. So in summary, I would say, we all say, right, Toastmasters provides a safe learning platform. It actually does. It helps you improve your skills. Yes. It helps you improve your attitude. A. It gives you great friends, and it facilitates and helps you pursue excellence. So SAFE. That's how I have found Toastmasters, Yasin.
Thank you so much, Raghavan. You put it very well. I don't know if this doesn't motivate anybody to become a Toastmaster, nothing will. Because it's that holistic. I've seen many professional transformations from Toastmasters. One I admire the most is becoming entrepreneurial. Praveen, you have been an employee before founding your company. How did being a Toastmaster help you in your entrepreneurial journey?
you, Yasin, Wake Up Channel, and a very good morning to all the members here present today. Yasin, you have the answer in your question. The transformational journey that you talk about. That's one reason I am in Toastmasters, and that's the reason why I joined Toastmasters, looking for some kind of transformational experience in life. Because I joined Toastmasters when I just joined an organization as a fresher. So from fresher, I always wanted to have some transformation experience in real life. And when Toastmasters, and I assume this is a platform which will help me to improve my skills that is required in career. And I'm continuing to be a Toastmaster because it's still helping me to transform myself at every stage. And also, I'm seeing numerous transformations in and around Toastmasters that is giving me hope that this platform has got for every individual. Now, if you ask me how the transformation happened, you spoke about people join Toastmasters to overcome glossophobia, the public speaking. That was the thing which helped me to achieve something in my life. Because the moment you achieve something you fear the most, overcome something you fear the most, I think eventually you'll be able to achieve most of things in life. Public speaking to me was a nightmare. For a person who had no good communication skill to get on the stage and speak in front of an audience, the moment you do that, you feel good about yourself, you feel confident about yourself, then you take those confidence to your career. Most often we think you come to Toastmasters, you practice your communication skill, leadership skill, and that will take to great heights in your career. More than that, the other skills, which is not mentioned anywhere in the manual book, those are the skills which will play a huge role in your career. Skills like overcoming the fear of public speaking, you get that confidence. And you go there, nobody can master table topics. There's nobody in this world I've seen. You give them a topic, they'll be number one all the time. So sometimes you fail. Next time you learn, okay, next time I have to go there and again overcome that and I have to win the contest. That never give up attitude, that is very key for an entrepreneur. So many times I've failed in table topics. And every time I failed, I come back on the stage to give the topic, which I feel I think I can do better. So that attitude is something I carry to my, and it does magic. So if you personally ask me, the process of Toastmasters itself has helped you to go up any place that you want to be in your career.
Thank you so much, Praveen. I can totally relate to this. I have become a Toastmaster after listening to your education session in IIT Madras Technology Park. In fact, that was inspirational. This one in 2 minutes, you have inspired to the similar level.
Thank you.
We have been familiar with the energy of Toastmasters. We are all like so energetic and always positive. I'd call this person an epitome of energy. DTM Thomas Abraham. Sir, tell us, what would you advise to a newly joined Toastmaster? What is in the box for him or her in this journey?
Brilliant. First of all, thank you for this opportunity you're giving me. Very flattering to be with two other panelists who I admire along with all of you in the District 120. On a serious note, I must say this. I've earned my living all my life through communication. After that, if I came to Toastmasters and I'm staying on, there must be something to it. It's simply this, friends. When you can get out of Toastmasters, what you can get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. I didn't say this. I'm borrowing it from a former president of Toastmaster International. And again, an example of someone who started fresher becoming the district director. You have in front of you, just heard him. That to me, I think you just put the two together. The theory I gave and the practical you saw with the two of these people, I think that's your answer. Since I still have more time, let me be little more rationality. Let me bring in. First of all, it's smartly done because I've done lectures in this externally in BA courses. This is very smartly done formula. The Druid 97 years ago created a formula where you get benefit not through injection. You do R-counter, you learn listening skills. Things you will not spend time separately to develop, parts of your body, you get wholesome development. Secondly, a small bit of statistics. The National Council for Applied Economic Research said quite a few years ago that those who speak English well get 34% better pay and those who just about manage get 14% better pay than those who don't speak English. I'm not saying you come here to speak English, but it's a byproduct you cannot discard. It shows in your pay packet one day. Also remember the project that Yasin is doing today. You know the insights he has learned in dealing with people and material. I can see from the questions he has programmed how he's learning it. Imagine the confidence and the skill he carries to his office. Simple, conducting an online meeting. Tomorrow the boss says, come on, we need to have a meeting for franchisees. You put up your hand. You surprise the boss and your colleagues. Hey man, this guy who joined last year knows what I learned only 6 months back. Bosses are not blind. You may abuse them, but they want talented people. So that's your answer. I'm being very practical, very specific. I can also tell you any number of examples of my mentees and others who have meteoric rise. One, don't mind telling you this, stammer. Stammer is an issue of confidence. This gentleman wanted to get into IIM. He did. Another mentee of mine, he was humorous. He is now a YouTuber. This is something even closer for those who are career-minded. Someone who worked with me for the Medley 600, his interview is coming up. He told me in public, he told us that the interview he clinched by telling them how he planned and strategized that meeting. You know, we don't realize it. What we gained here is huge because it's not labeled. It's done so smartly because this is an adult education. You don't say, come on, today I'll teach you this. So therefore, we must appreciate the huge package we're getting. And like said, finally, it's confidence. Single byproduct, confidence. There is nothing more superior to confidence when it comes to your performance. I hope I answered it partially.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Thomas. You have covered it fully well. I totally agree with you because I was a person who was consistently rejected in group discussions during my bachelor's campus interviews. From that level to this level, how I have come, without Toastmasters, I would be nowhere. We always talk communication skills in relation to leadership skills. Toastmasters always emphasize on leadership skills. Praveen, you have occupied almost all the top roles in Toastmasters from club level to district level. How do you manage your time occupying high offices as Toastmasters? And also, how do you manage being an entrepreneur because it's too demanding? So tell us about your time management abilities, tips and tricks.
Yasana, are you married?
Yes.
I know where the
I did not expect that.
Right, this is one of the most spoken topic in our Toastmasters circle, time management. We have seen people having burnouts in Toastmasters when they're not supposed to have one, because we all join Toastmasters to help our careers and personal life get better. But sometimes we happen to hear the burnout situation within Toastmasters. Now, again, our pathways, manuals, I don't think so. They talk about time management in life because that's very crucial part of any leadership role that you play. We hear about new CEO of Twitter, Parag, and we are hearing about so many CEOs around the globe. Just put the same question to them, like how they are able to manage time so well that they are able to manage a top Fortune 500 company. They're able to manage the family, the social circle. They all have the answers, which we need to practice in and around Toastmasters. One of the most important way that you can manage your time is by saying no. Because as Indians, I've seen most of us are comfortable in saying yes. That's somewhere part of our DNA. Because even I love saying yes. I've got into burnout situation by saying yes more number of times. Fortunately, had a wonderful mentor. His name was DTM Karthik Srinivasan. He's no more. So he used to give me enough scoldings whenever I say yes and I don't deliver things. He always used to advise me. I learned a very important lesson from him. To be successful in life, you don't have to do too many things. For instance, let's say I try to commit 12 things and end up in achieving 8 things. I will not be successful. If Yasin goes and commits only 5 things and he delivers all the 5 things, he will be more successful than Praveen. So it is not about how many things you do in your life. It is about how many things you promise and how many you deliver out of the promises is what will take you in great heights. So once I've understood that art, I think I've limited myself in involving myself in a lot of decision-making process. When you have a big team, always learn to delegate the work. So if you are being a district director, it is same as being a club president. There's nothing different. A club president has 7 excom, total 7 excom officers, and president is the chair of the committee. Same applies to district director. If I know how to delegate my work to my program called director, club board director, division directors, the job is done. There's nothing different. The same applies to being a CEO. You have to work with only 5 set of 6 set of people at the max. If you know how effectively you can delegate, I think it's the same job that you're doing at the president level, at the division director level, or at the district director level. So there's nothing that we'll have to learn something new in this process. But as long as you know how to say no to someone and keep up your promises, time management will be just fine. Otherwise, you will have to keep getting scolding from your own family members. They'll say, why Toastmasters? So you'll end up in asking tips from your married friends and Toastmasters on how to manage time in your family. But keep things simple. Don't take too many things in Toastmasters. See what you can do and deliver that, because you have enough time. I've been a Toastmaster for last 11 years now. It's my 12th year. I will continue for another 10 more years, another 15 more easily. So why hurry in your process? So keep doing in a paced manner. I think you all be just fine.
Thank you, Praveen, for sharing that tip. I hope that's helpful for all of us who are present today and for all of us who will be watching this video, because that's the most important thing, burnout, how to avoid that. On the personal front, speaking of it, children come as the most important part for any parent, for any family. Raghavan Sridhar, you are a proud father for 2 now. Congratulations on the second, by the way. How specifically did being a Toastmaster help you evolve as a parent? Can you show some light on it?
Definitely, Yasin. I mean, and I think the first point or the first example is, I think, something that everybody will think of. The moment you say how Toastmasters helps with home or kids, I'm sure you will all say feedback, right, or evaluation. And especially with kids, we need to be able to tell them they have to do something differently, or they shouldn't do something, or they need to do something else. And Toastmasters really helps you create it in such a package that you're able to deliver it in a way that the child will understand and take forward. So evaluation, obvious, and it is perhaps the 101, right, like we say. But beyond that, there are so many dimensions that I learned from Toastmasters, which has helped me with my kid and my daughter especially. She's a bomb, isn't she? She's an energy package, and she's always there. She's bubbling throughout. To be able to handle someone and to be able to bring out the best in her, I don't think I would have been able to do it if I was not a Toastmaster. I learned the art of handling energy, handling diverse opinions or diverse behaviors, because I have met so many different kinds of people in Toastmasters. You yourself said Thomas Abraham is a bundle of energy, right? So you meet so many different people, and then you realize that, okay, with mentees, with your club presidents, with different scenarios, you have to handle them differently. And that's something that Toastmasters taught me. You also learn, and it's a very popular thing again. They say if you can explain something to a 4-year-old, you can explain it in a world stage, right? So every speech you draft it in such a way that the core message is easily reachable to the audience. Now, this is reverse, isn't it? I'm saying, how can I take something from my personal life into Toastmasters? But hey, it starts off with you writing an idea and then making it simpler for your child. And so every communication I have with my child, I've learned to make it very simple. I actually asked myself, okay, they say if I can explain it to a 4-year-old, I can explain it in the world stage. But how do I explain it to a 4-year-old? So you need to learn that, right? It's a trial. For people like me, it's good that I have a trial mechanism at home. So maybe that's why my speeches succeed. You learn the art of communicating with your child as well. And very importantly, my daughter sees me. She sees me during my meetings. She sees me during my Toastmaster sessions. She sees how I have my phone calls with so many of my people and in English. that helps, because she suddenly, after I keep the phone down, I see her going to her mother and playfully talk in English. That is something that really gives me goosebumps, because at 3 years, 4 years, if your daughter is able to pick up, your children are able to pick up on your behavior and then try to reproduce it, the entire art of teaching English, that becomes so much easy, right? So yeah, feedback, handling energy and communication, influencing her with behaviors, and of course understanding how to simplify everything we say, are four different things that I've taken from Toastmasters, and has helped me with my kid. The other one is
Amazing.
too young.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's an amazing tip for any current and upcoming parent. Thank you so much. Speaking of drafting a speech, as you talked, Raghavan, I'd like to go to Thomas, sir. So you have been the division finalist covering around contest genres of many variants for around 8 times. How do you think contests help us in our Toastmaster journey?
Let me be personal. I survived the lockdown nearly 2 years thanks to the 5 appearances I got at the division level. 2 of them took me to the district. I'll tell you why. It became my ikigai. It's like a mom carrying a child to be. The child will always make its presence felt to the mom. Others will agree with me. A speech in the making will keep kicking you in the morning, asking you to get up and do something about it. Sachin, do you remember how Raghavan did that? You can ask him the eureka moment when he discovered that. Imagine there are 100 eureka moments that together create a speech. A speech is not it's many days, many hours, thoughts put together. So that to me is an immediate answer. It was my ikigai. It gave me a reason to get up in the morning. Secondly, you discover yourself. You are in search of excellence. It's like a Nadia wanting to score 10 out of 10. You don't want to miss a decimal point. That's what makes you go up or not. How do you do that? So you learn to dissect, to bisect, to really look at nuances. You're dealing with humans. Now, are the humans young? Are the humans old? Are they conservative? You go through all this, what is called analysis of the audience you do. So this is a search for excellence you don't get to do in normal speech making because it's more matter of fact. Let me also show you something. It allows you to be the maximum creative. There's no one to stop you, right? For my last one where I did not win, I could not go to the division for humor. By the way, humor I learned. I discovered humor in myself thanks to Toastmasters and this contest. I was a very non-humorous guy. In corporates, you cannot be humorous, right? Corporate is a serious thing. But I learned this. I'm very glad about it. Now, to demonstrate 2 people talking, I made a mockery of, I made a satire on XCOM meetings. So there is 2 guys are speaking. So one guy came like this. He's the VPE. He talks like this. The secretary is Bala. So I used another frame. So people could relate to this 2 frame. I didn't have done this, but I'm trying to do the best I can. To me, that's what contest does. Contest helps you discover the best in you. I don't think there is a greater human endeavor anywhere in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thomas, sir. We could see the energy and passion even now. That's what you are. Thank you so much for being yourself. Now, speaking of contest again, Raghavan, you are in the district finals for this year as well. Winning comes with learning. I'd like to know, do you learn something new in every contest? What should a contestant do to learn from the process?
Absolutely, Yasin. To answer to your first question, do we learn? We learn enormously. Like Thomas said, there is no greater pursuit. Did I learn something new this year? Absolutely. I'll tell you this. So in 2021, I was at the district finals of ISC contest, right? It was the first time second time I was on the district stage for ISC after, this was my 7th attempt. So I used to, sometimes in clubs, sometimes in area, sometimes in division, sometimes even in district semi-finals. So actually correct. This was the first time I was at the district finals, because the year before in 2019, I think, I was at Sri Lanka. I didn't get placed at the semi-finals. So I was at the district finals. And like Thomas said, Sachin, that speech, the genesis of that speech has been with me since since I was 7 years old. That's the first time I went into the Chepauk Stadium and heard the chant Sachin, Sachin. So imagine somebody carrying that seed within him for 20 years or more. And here I am crafting a speech that I think had taken me 10 years, because the genesis came to me in different places. The different points of the speech came up in different sentences through 10 years. And then 6 years after I started contesting, finally I make it to the district finals. And then I pick up a lot. I'm the first speaker. Call it an advantage or disadvantage, whatever it is. And then my entire life comes through me during that speech, and I deliver it. And when the results come, I come second. For those of you who contest, you will understand. Coming second in the division and the district are one and the same. If I were to be very crude, it's of no use, right? The trophy is more of a painful reminder than it is a celebratory trophy. I come second. But the one who won was Sridhar Ranganathan. If you ask me, the top 3 most revered people in Toastmasters, to me, Sridhar would be at the top. So I call up Sridhar, because Sridhar, my journey is just 6 contests, right? Sridhar has been in the district finals 12 times. And this was his 13th attempt, lucky number 13, and he won. So I called him up and asked him, Sridhar, I know you have won. I am supposed to congratulate you and all that, but I'm going to ask you this. Why does this hurt me so much? I came second, Sridhar, and I lost to you. You are my mentor. You have mentored so many of my speeches, but I just am not able to accept that you won and I didn't. Of course, Sridhar, being Sridhar, he said, hey, but your name is also Raghavan Sridhar. So eventually Sridhar only won. So you should be happy, Raghavan. But then he shared with me his experience, right? And he said, Raghavan, if this coming second must hurt you. It should hurt you. It should make you feel, I missed it. But what it should also do is drive you forward to be better next year. If it doesn't, then it means you are a one speech wonder, right? Maybe you have attended six contests, but there is nothing for you to show. You never came to the district finals. Now you have, and you have come second. And if you are going to taper off and think, either think this is your ultimate victory or think you can't do better, then you are a one speech wonder. That was very needling. That was really offending. But then I was like, this is Sridhar. But 2 days after he said that, I realized how amazing a wisdom he had shared with you. Contests teach you how to handle losses. That is what I think is the best. Contests don't teach you how to win. Contests don't teach you how you should respond after a victory. No, contest actually teaches you how to lose and how to handle losses. I jokingly tell my father, if Virat Kohli ever became a Toastmaster, I think we'd all be looking at someone so different on field. So yes, in every contest, every journey, whether you win or lose, or you just participate, teaches you something. And now I have a great pressure on my own shoulders to come up with another speech. Whether it wins or not, I don't want to be, because I will never forget it. I will carry it in my head. Sridhar always saying, Raghavan, you're just a one speech wonder. That will never. So that's the first lesson I have learned immediately after this year's ISC finals. There's a lot to learn. Yes, there's a lot to learn.
I just love listening to senior Toastmasters because there is so much richness in the stories that they share. For a second there, I forgot that I am the moderator. I could let you speak forever. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing the experience, Raghavan. We're glad. Praveen, I assume you are young. I saw your LinkedIn profile. You are young. At such a young age, you have completed everything. You have become the district director, and now you are the former district director. What is next in Toastmasters for you?
Okay, see, what next in Toastmasters or what next in life need not be in the next level or in the top position. It can also be at the same level or even could be the level below. I admire the most admired politician for me is Kamarajar. So he's been the chief minister of Tamil Nadu in the past. Even when he was given an opportunity to go on to become the prime minister of India, he never wanted to be one. He had a chance to go to top position at the national level. Various occasions, he was very close to Nehru, and he was given so many opportunities. But he said he wants to be a chief minister of the state, and he wants to continue supporting the party leadership. I'm referring to politics here because it's a relevant example to your question. To me, I want to continue the same, Praveen, for the next 5 to 10 years at least, and support the district team and the clubs in Tamil Nadu. When, like for example, let's say you have a sibling, as in, and you are supposed to be a brother for your sibling, and now you are married, you have to play a role of husband. Tomorrow you have kids, you have to play a role of a father. So you don't stop being a brother anymore. You don't stop being a husband anymore. You have to continue all the roles throughout your life. That's when people will look up to you. Otherwise, they'll say, oh, after marriage, this guy changed. After becoming a father, he is no more taking care of me. So when you finish a role, doesn't mean that your role is over. You have to look for something else. You can also continue being the same person and continue serving the clubs. I have to still play the role of a past president, past area director, past division director, and past district director. As long as I continue doing this role, I'll be happy and satisfied. So at this moment, I'm not looking at anywhere at the top. The current role itself is so demanding. I can say my role as a district director is complete when nobody requests any support in the district. Today, the ground reality is most of the clubs in our district request support. Most of the areas and divisions still need mentorship. So when the roles are still pending, I can certainly can't say my role as a district director was complete and did this, did that. So I think I'll have to continue supporting the district for another 10 years at least, then look up after going for some other role if required. Otherwise, I'm satisfied, and I might even go further down by being a division director or being a club president. That's all running in my mind at this moment. Yes.
Thank you so much, Praveen. They say once a Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster. I guess similarly, once a leader, always a leader. Thank you for being a natural leader. We were glad for having you as the district director last year. Thomas, sir, I'd like to conclude the session with this question owing to the time. In your lecture to our club last time, Sculpting the Script, we could witness your poetic touch on the tips to AS script. I'd like to know, is speaking an art form? If so, what do you think so?
I see that you have strategically and selflessly allowed yourself to be disqualified for the benefit of your members so that you could probably get something more. I appreciate that. This is the attitude of greater good at the cost of some small little, very well done, I must tell you. This is leadership. Okay, back to the question you asked me. I believe that like building bridges, anything constructive, planned and constructed, it's always science first and then art. The structure, it's logic. First of all, what do you want to say? Something that should hurt you. If you don't say, it should burst your heart. So that is the starting point. Then you look at the structure. Then you look at the art part of it, the language, the emotions, all that come later. Ultimately, if you ask me, something that you cannot hold back, said credibly, something that's relatable, and something that benefits the audience, you have a winning speech. In the interest of time, I will stop there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here, for sharing your wonderful wisdoms to us. I'm sure it was helpful for all of us present here. I'm sure it will be helpful for all of us who are going to see this video. Now, I'd like to see the audience and ask if you have any questions to ask the panelists. Please raise your hands. We'll be allowed. If there are any questions on any topic that was discussed here.
So Raghavan, Sridhar.
Yeah, I'm Gopinath.
I'm Gopinath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Hi, Gopi. Good morning.
Good morning. You were talking about that losing moment, and you went back to Mr. Sridhar and asked about what is that thing, what makes me to think about it. This is one thing which I cannot really take it at all. Having gone to that level and losing that thing, like, no. Can you please explain how you came out of it?
No, I mean, I think the conversation with Sridhar was how I came out of it. Because here is a man, right? And this is what I would always say. So I will talk about Sridhar, but I will tell you a generic rule to all of you, right? At any point in time, you have to look up at people who are better than you, rather than look at people who haven't. So it is very easy to tell yourself, right? At least I came second. There are so many who couldn't crack division. That is a band-aid. Huh? That's a band-aid. And when you rip it off, or when it's time for it to peel off, it hurts. So that's just a band-aid. Never have that attitude anywhere. Always look up at people who have won or people who are better. Because today, if India looks at the Indian team and feels we lost, and then there are so many, there is Bangladesh who didn't even come to that level in the World Cup. It's easily going to come back. But if we look at New Zealand and tell us, well, look at New Zealand, how they have been excellent so long, and they deserve to win. It's much better. It helps you pursue that. It helps you to go next time to emulate that standard. The same thing happened to me in this context as well. The conversation with Sridhar helped. If I had called anybody else, if I had called you, Gopi would have said, but Raghavan, you came second at district, sir. There are so many who haven't even stepped on the district stage. Right? But when I talk to Sridhar, look at what Sridhar says. Sridhar says, Raghavan, it should hurt. Oh, it should not let you sleep. Because that's what he has gone through. He has gone through 10, 11 times same pain. He has come first, he has come second, third. He has not gotten placed. He has not even been at the final. So he says, Raghavan, it should not let you sleep until the next idea comes, until the next script is ready, until your next performance on stage. Oh, it should keep needling you throughout. And then what happens to me, Rao Gopi? I am no more. So because of this conversation, I remembered that coming second and the pain and everything, but that is not on my mind anymore. The pain or the discomfort right now is, okay, where is my next idea going to come? Where is my next speech? How am I going to make it into a script? Right now I'm thinking of, oh, did Thomas sir do a session on sculpting a speech? I should find out that session and somehow, try to get it. So you are able to find the next pursuit to go behind. If you look at people who are better, if you look at people you can emulate. So that's how I got over it, Gopi, by looking at the person who was better than me and trying to emulate them. So.
Thank you very much. No,
Thank you.
The way you speak is really superb. That's what it is.
Toastmasters,
Thanks,
Gopi. I learned it from Toastmasters.
All right. I guess there are no more questions, and the timer is already notifying me. Let us end the session. It's been a privilege, distinguished panelists, Thomas, Raghavan, and Praveen. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us today. And with that, I conclude the session and control back to the TMOD, Toastmasters Foundry.